We often look at first responders as heroes, but they aren't immune to the trauma they see, and many suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder. In this week's Crime Watch, Fox 7's Noel Newton takes a look at intervention efforts to save those who work to save others.
When we are hurting, we see these faces. When they hurt, they see this one. Clinician Tania specializes in counseling first responders. She pulls them out of their darkest moments when a combination of on and off the job stressors become too much.
Usually, by the time they ask for help, it's very hard for them to ask for help because the culture is, gut it out, just stay strong and sort of suck it up. And by the time usually they come in for counseling, it's really pretty rough on them. Things have declined significantly.
Glenn, who was assisted with traumatic events spanning from the Oklahoma City bombing to Dallas when 5 officers were gunned down, estimates 40 to 50% of first responders suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder.
Their job is to walk into people's lives on the absolute worst days of their lives. And so every single call, every single shift is one more risk of putting a first responder into a situation that is essentially beyond their human coping capacity, which is the actual precursor for post-traumatic stress disorder.
To better determine the severity of critical stress, ambulance service managers surveyed 4,000 EMS personnel and found that 37% had contemplated suicide. Compare that to the national average of 3.7% as determined by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. 6.6% of respondents said they'd attempted suicide. That figure was also higher than the CDC average of 0.5%.
It really breaks my heart because I know that there's so much help to be had. There's so many options.
Recently, the Travis County Sheriff's Office lost Sergeant Craig Hutchinson to suicide in a very public way. Sheriff Greg Hamilton spoke with us about how his deputies are coping.
It's very somber around the department. We're dealing with it, and I think that when we see an individual that is down and can't seem to stand, there's always somebody there to help them stand up.
Austin Travis County EMS created a peer support program last May after losing 2 of its personnel to suicide.
As medics, we're really good at taking care of our patients and of others in our family, but it's harder to take care of ourselves.
Captain Neda Oskouee is one of 30 medics now in the department's peer support team. They monitor emergency calls and respond if necessary. They also operate a hotline that staff may call when in need of a friend.
It's really to be humans for each other and allow our medics to feel.
There is a culture historically of just powering through, of putting on that brave face and dealing with it. And it's just part of the job, and that's what we do. Having a peer support team makes it okay to say, I'm not okay. I'm not doing really well with the things that I'm seeing and the things I'm doing. I really need somebody to talk to, and I really need some help with how to work through it. So that's the change that we're seeing.
The team just celebrated its 1-year anniversary. Glenn assisted along the way.
Really, it's become this front line of defense to help first responders. I think that it's just important for people to understand that they're not robots and they're not machines, and that they too are human beings that have the same struggles that everybody else does.
Noel Newton, Fox 7 News.